This is WCM's Park Update, a weekly show covering the outdoor hospitality industry, hosted by Ben Quiggle and Mike Gast. During each episode, you'll hear from special guests and campground experts on topics that will help your park flourish. WCM's Park Update is a production of Woodall's Campground Magazine.
Hi, this is Ben Quiggle, and welcome to another episode of WCM's Park Update. And of course, my co-host is Mike Gast, former Vice President of Communications at Campgrounds of America. And Mike, you should be pretty impressed. I remembered the actual new name of the show today.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the second time I've heard it, so I got to remember it too.
I know we got to remember the new name. But with us is Lori Severson, and Danielle. You're her daughter, right? Not daughter-in-law.
Niece. Yeah.
Niece. See, I knew I was going to
We're all
bring that up.
family.
I knew you were family.
I need
Got a
something
daughter.
that pops up a little
Yeah.
air number one thing or something like that.
Yeah.
So Danielle and Lori Severson from the Campground Owners Expo, and of course Lori is the executive director of the Wisconsin Association of Campground Owners. And Lori, I think I see you at a lot of different conferences throughout the year. You just travel all the time.
I do. We actually work with the KOA Owners Association as well. So we're having lots of fun this year.
And of course, Dennis Steinman is with us too. And did I say that right, Dennis? It's Steinman.
You're right on.
Yeah, I'm right on.
Right
With
on. Thank you.
Plainscraft Covered Wagons. He's the owner of the company. And we're just want to talk about the Campground Owners Expo, which is taking place at the end of November in Branson, Missouri. Last year it was great. Branson is just a great place to be. There was a lot of energy. I think you ended up with 300-400 people in attendance, right, Lori?
We did. And you're really right when you hit on the energy factor. I mean, that was just, it was so positive and so many people just excited to be there and to be able to share and tell their stories. And it was really cool.
Yeah, and I think you had educational sessions. The expo hall was pretty filled. I forget. How many vendors did you have there last year?
We had over 100 last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just a great time to get together. Last year was a little closer to the holidays, but this year you decided to move it back. Why did you decide to move it back to the end of November? I think last year you had it like the week before Christmas, right?
Right. It was basically the facility. So we were able to book ahead a little bit this year and get a little closer to where we wanted to be. So that worked out really good for us.
Yeah. Are you noticing? I think some of the people I spoke with last year were like, they wanted to come, but it was a little too close to Christmas. Have you heard from people who are coming this year because you moved the date back?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So I think that's a big factor. Without our vendors and sponsors and our people like Plainscraft and Access Parks and Blackhawk Bank and Campgrounds for Sale and Campground Views and CRS, Covera, Utility Supply, Woodall's, of course, we could not put this on because obviously $200 for up to 5 people doesn't cover the food costs.
God, I hope you hit all the sponsors there, Lori, because you don't want to make anybody mad at this point. But
yeah.
So
I worked on both the both of them for sure.
So there's a lot of choices for owners in the fall. My gosh,
Yeah.
There's so much going on with all the national conventions and the meetings that go on with KOA and ARVIC and others down the line. What really sets what you've done apart here? What's the reason that you exist?
Well, there's actually 2 reasons. The first one is obviously a cost affordable way for smaller campgrounds to get together, specifically campgrounds who don't have a state association, because that's a huge problem. The state associations just make you so much better. They make you better for the banks, better for the insurance companies, better for business in general. So that education part is so important, and each state, the states is really the only place that can help you, especially when you're talking about zoning and legislative issues and that kind of thing. So we want to make sure that those people are covered. And I am blessed with a great group of people from camp, the Campground Association management professionals, who come and help me with this and help little organizations become bigger and states that have no organizations become better. So that's one reason. The second reason is for many years I worked with a big company, and I don't know that I can say the name of it, but it's the mouse, if you will. So I can say that much. Anyway, we did a lot with, in the back of the house type of training. And I would love to think that people just came every year to listen to me speak. But I know what they really wanted to do is they wanted to get down in those tunnels. That's what they really paid the big money for, right? So we do a little bit of the get down in those big tunnels kind of thing, if you will. This year, we are so excited. We are going to meet with the Five and Dime folks who have been in the retail business for over 60 years. So they've worked with their family for 60 years. They've recreated themselves. I call them the share of the retail industry, because for 60 years, man, they got it. They still got it going. For those of us that are old enough out there to remember the old Woolworths organization, they're a lot like that, if you will. But they're Five and Dime, Dick's Five and Dime. It's been in existence for 60 years. So they're going to tell us all about their history. They're going to work with us on how that worked with the families over the generation. How did you pass the business down? What did you teach them? How did you come up with new and exciting strategies to keep that retail thing going? And this year, our campgrounds are finding that our retail business is really up. So we need to know more about how to keep it up and how to get it higher. And we think these guys will definitely be able to help us. So that's one of our behind the scenes type of thing. And then we have a really fun little thing that Mark is going to do. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So Mark Kep's group with campgroundviews.com, they have a Facebook group called the Padded Room of Rants, where it's just kind of a place for campground owners to rant about the things that everybody deals with. So they're going to have kind of an in-person session for that, kind of a meetup. So pairing that with kind of another behind the scenes tour with Andy Bees as well, over across the street from the expo location at Branson Landing. And
so we'll get a chance to go behind the scenes there and see how they do things, and they have everything from bowling to, the escape rooms and all those kinds of things. So we'll get a little behind the scenes picture of that as well. So that's really, I think, why we're different. And obviously that affordability price, I'm pretty sure that there's no convention on the planet that you can go to and bring 5 people for $200.
Yeah. And Dennis, you're going to be part of that. Obviously, you're going to be in the expo. I guess, Dennis, what was the benefit for you last year to attend the conferences? And as a vendor, what type of audience did you see? What kind of traction did you see at the show, I guess?
I was excited last year when Lori contacted us and asked us if we'd like to go, and Branson's a great place to go, and if you have any extra time to come early and stay late. And if you know Lori at all, you know that it has to be exciting and a lot of energy around it if she's around. So we had a really great show. We met a lot of great people, a lot of interest in the wagons. We actually sold a few wagons, sales that came as a result of the people we met there.
Yeah. And
so, it was a lot of fun. It was not a huge show, but not real small. I thought it was, kind of close, and everybody was friendly, and it was just kind of it was a little different than the bigger shows. And as they grow it, I think that will remain. I think that, the way they put it on, they did a really good job. They took good care of the vendors. You felt like you were part of the thing. Sorry about that. Phone just went off. But it was really fun. We're looking forward to it again this year.
Yeah.
We are going to do some new things this year with the vendors, and we're excited about that. One of the things that Branson offers is this huge expo spot. So it's so big, like literally you could put 1,000 booths in there. So, it's crazy how much space we have, and that's fun. We've never had to deal with that before, so that makes it really fun. So I appreciate the fact, Dennis, that you thought it was intimate, because that's really what we were going for with that big space. It was like, yikes, this is a lot.
So Lori, are you going to have 1,000 booths in there this year?
Boy, I tell you, I don't think we'll quite make 1,000, but I think we're going to definitely double what we had last year. No problem at all.
That's great.
Already we've done that. But the other fun thing that we're going to do is we're actually taking some of the sponsorship dollars that we have, and we're going to give those to participants so they can win $1,000 to go back and buy items from the people at the show. So they can take that money, they can win it, and then take that money and go shop, which is always kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on the attendee and the vendor side, how are the responses you're getting so far as registrations and everything?
Well, so far we're over what we had last year at the end. So we are super excited about that. So we really expect to double what we did last year. So that should be fun and exciting for sure.
I know, like, you guys had like a beach area last year at the expo. Are you guys going to have a beach area like that again? Is CRS coming back with the beach area, or? Oh,
they absolutely are. They are one of our $10,000 sponsors. So they're amazing, and they are definitely going to have some fun with that again. That was probably one of the coolest things, you know, when the vendors work with us like that, and our suppliers set stuff up for us like that. That takes them a lot of time and a lot of energy to do that. But when they do that, I think that's part of what Dennis talked about, is that sort of excitement and fun, and everybody's a part of it, and that type of thing. And that makes, I think, a big difference myself.
So I'll throw something out for both Dennis and Lori. There's been a lot of change in the industry in the last couple of years with new owners coming in.
Yes.
A lot of people have purchased their first campground. We've also got a lot of corporate owners coming in and buying multiple parks that may not be that familiar with it. What do you anticipate you're going to see going forward? I know it's only a year or two here, but going forward, do you anticipate a different sort of owner in general coming into the show?
You know, I think just from the industry in general, I think there's going to be a different sort of owner. I think it's important to train every owner that comes on board. We actually have a new section this year just for people who are thinking about opening a campground and helping them understand what they need to know. I think so many times people come in under financed to be able to run a campground, and that gets you in trouble right out of the hopper. So we try to educate people and help them with that. I do think, like anything else, that there will be some corporate buyouts, if you will. I think that some of that consolidation is going to happen. I think that the guest is going to be, I think there will be guests that will be looking for specific campgrounds that they know are privately held, that they know they're going to be able to see and touch the owner. And then I think that there's going to be a group of campers that aren't so concerned with that piece of it, but what amenities do you have and what can we enjoy and that kind of thing. So I think there's room for everybody.
So does that include folks that are in the glamping business, or they define themselves like that? I know it's a Campground Owners Expo, but folks that maybe run a business other than a campground and also have a glamping aspect to it. Is there something in your show for them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, even if they run a glamping kind of organization, you know, the campground stuff, if you will, still applies. You know, that guest experience is still very important. You know, the rules and regs are still important. Getting educated and information is still important. And obviously, the marketing is key.
Yeah.
You know, if I can throw something in there, we just returned from the Glamping Association's conference and trade show. And we are involved with our covered wagons in the glamping side of things. And I was amazed at some of the things we learned there about what's going on in the market as far as the glamping side of the market. And I think that the RV park owners, if they want to talk to me about it, because we're into that, we're learning all the time. We brought home some data that was really, really amazing, showing how the glamping side of things are growing and how the RV park owner or RV parks are becoming more and more evolved in having glamping structures and that kind of thing. So, you know, the glamping thing is growing. It's growing very quickly. And from everyone I talk to that are RV park owners, a lot of them are starting to say, hey, we need to get into this because there's some really good returns to be had on by offering some of these experiences in the way of structures and, you know, different things. So look forward to meeting people that have any interest in that while we're there. And we do try to sell our wagon. This is not a commercial, but we do try to sell. I think some of the suppliers do, but it's nice if we can make arrangements and not have to bring the wagon home.
Yeah.
So throw that out too. I think a lot of people probably do that.
Absolutely.
Save the horses, right, Dennis?
There you go.
So, well, we have to take a short break for our sponsor, but we'll be right back to finish this episode. Thanks. WCM's Park Update is being brought to you by Woodall's Campground Magazine. For over 5 decades, Woodall's Campground Magazine has aimed to provide park owners and operators with the relevant industry news they need to run their businesses more efficiently. As times have changed, so has Woodall's Campground Magazine. Besides just its print publication, which is distributed to more than 14,000 industry professionals every month, the magazine also reaches readers through its various social media platforms, including Facebook at WoodallCM, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Woodall's Campground Magazine also offers a daily e-blast which highlights the top news from the industry. The best part, everything we do is advertiser supported and free to our readers. As the outdoor hospitality industry continues to grow at a rapid pace, it is important to stay up to date on trends and other relevant news. Subscribe to Woodall's Campground Magazine at woodallscm.com. So welcome back to WCM's Park Update. We have Danielle Todd Lori Severson here with the Campground Owners Expo, Dennis Steinman with Plainscraft Covered Wagons, of course, Michael Gass, my co-host. And we were just discussing the Campground Owners Expo, which is taking place at the end of November in Branson, Missouri. And, you know, Lori, we were just talking a little bit about the educational components. I guess, you know, what are some of the highlights? I know you mentioned some stuff for prospective owners. Is there a specific keynote speaker that you're having at this year's event?
Actually, we have a surprise one that is not like totally confirmed yet, so we're going to have to wait on that. But
it's good.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah. Yes.
How long do we have to wait?
Just a little bit.
I'm not good with surprises. I'm not good with surprises.
I know. But we do have some really fun things. We have a gal that is an expert in store displays. She's going to be there. We've got a gal, Stephanie, that talked about getting people excited about your park and in the community. We've got some legal help, if you will. We've got some accounting help. So we're excited about that. Graphic design we have, QuickBooks. We're going to talk about personality styles, guest services. I guess what?
We have Mark Kep from campgroundviews.com. He's going to be doing 3 different sessions, kind of a little back-to-back series. A lot of stuff on, you know, digital stuff where campers are finding campgrounds these days, a little bit different than maybe even just a few years ago. So talking a little bit about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I just saw Mark at the glamping show, and I mean, he's a great resource. I think he's going to be at the Campground Owners of New York's exposition here at the end of October.
So are we.
He doesn't fly, so he drives.
He drives.
And he lives in Wyoming. So I told him that's a long drive. And then he's going down to Branson and he's doing some other things. But he's a great resource. So anybody who attends the show is definitely going to want to connect with Mark
him,
and
for
his
sure.
Facebook page. So
For
He'll be
sure,
the shy guy in the corner, not saying
Yeah.
much.
right?
and then I know employee issues are a huge deal. Do you have
Yes.
anything on that?
We certainly do. Mark's got several sessions on, employment law too, what to say, what not to say, how to interview, what questions that you
Yeah.
can ask, all kinds of things on workman's comp and that kind of thing. He'll be there the whole show. And so we can use him as a resource, as well as Chris, our QuickBooks expert from Cooley Books or Cooley Bookkeeping. So she'll be there. And then we've got a great session on time management, and goodness knows we can all use that. And of course, we'll have Bud Steyer and all his finesse. He'll be there as well. So we're excited to have them. And this is new this year. We have Illinois Campground Association is actually going to have their convention, their state convention at our convention. So we're offering that up for some of the smaller groups, because as you all know, Dennis, it's tough sometimes to make some of the smaller shows where you maybe going to only interact with 12 people or so. Makes it a little bit more difficult. But if we can get all these folks in one room together, and we pay for the space anyway, so we're offering these meeting rooms free to any of the state associations that are either trying to form an association or already have one. And Illinois has taken us up on it, so they'll be there.
I was sorry, I had my thing on mute. I know Illinois is pretty excited about being there. I was going to ask if anybody else is taking you up on that offer, but it just sounds like Illinois at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. We are entertaining two other states at this point and trying to just figure out some logistics for them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's a great service, because I know a lot of these state associations have difficulties meeting sometimes, and it's great to be able to get together at some of these larger conferences, because they might have a lot of Illinois people going anyways.
Right.
And so being able to get together, and then I imagine it benefits you too, because maybe it drives more Illinois people to the conference. So.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to have people there, and it really does fit our mission. I mean, that's what we're looking to do. And I'm so blessed to have our people from camp that help us put this together and make it work. And another example of kind of the suppliers helping us out is Blackhawk Bank has actually dedicated one of their employees. They choose a customer or a community service project, and they're going to actually call the Illinois campgrounds and let them know that, hey, this is available for you and come on over. So that's cool.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lori, it's always difficult to start something from scratch, and you're in year 2 now.
Yes.
I'm sure you're dedicated for the long haul, so you've got to be thinking past this year and what's going to be happening in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What do you think is going to happen with the growth of this show?
Well, we're actually looking to go to Branson for one additional year. And then we've got another little special place picked out after that. So
Another surprise for you.
Another
secret. Yeah, just driving them crazy.
Another dang secret, right?
They're going to Hawaii. They're going to go to Hawaii, Mike.
There you go.
So,
Will it be in the center of the country? Can you tell us that, or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah,
That's the guy that has to tow something there, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and that is part of it. I mean, for us, obviously the Midwest is really important, because it's just that we've got so many little states that we kind of want to try to get together, and so that is key for us. But we are so excited this year, and it's just we loved the fact that last year turned out the way that it did. This year we're hoping to break even. We're really excited about that.
Well, I mentioned earlier, I'd never been to Branson before. I'd never really even been to Missouri. So the whole state was new. But it was kind of neat at Christmas time being there with all the lights and everything. And I imagine it'll be dressed up that way this year.
Oh, yes.
That's their thing.
Mhm.
Christmas is Branson's thing. So it's everybody gets into it for sure.
Yeah, and we really do set up the whole program so that it's not the entire day that you have to focus on the seminars or whatever. We only have one day for the trade show, but other than that, it's mostly half days. So you get plenty of time to, even if it's a behind the scenes thing, at least you get out of the classroom type of thing.
Did you have a lot of families come last year, bring the kids and do different things?
We did. We had, and it was really awesome. A lot of our suppliers brought their spouses and significant others, and that was awesome. That's really what this is all about. We want them to feel comfortable. They brought them into their booth. They brought them into the food area, everything, so that we're just one big group, and that's how we want it to come off. We want people to feel like they're part of it. They're part of that COE family.
It's a long season, so
Yeah.
you might as well turn it into a little bit of a
vacation. And
So.
and if you ask our little accountant, Chris, she'll just tell you all about the benefits of that.
Is there a virtual component to the show? Like, are you going to broadcast some of the sessions, or is it just mainly in person?
So far, it's in person. Yeah,
Okay.
Yep, it's in person so far. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can be challenging to do the virtual aspect.
There's a lot of
Yeah, we
moving
prove that
parts
every
to
week.
that, yeah.
yeah, right.
So- So Dennis, it was obviously worth your while to be there last year. Did you pick up from the other vendors that they were doing some business there? Because that's what they're really there to do at the expo.
Right.
Well, wow, it's been a year ago. I was telling them earlier, yeah, that's a long time to remember. but I just think there was a lot of activity there, and there had to be some deals made. A lot of them I wasn't aware of, but there had to be, because there was a lot of people milling around and looking and, talking, and, there was a lot of activity there. And I'm sure this year will be even more, because there's going to be more people. So for the vendors like myself and sponsors like we are, it'll be good. It'll help us move our business forward. And that's what we're trying to do, is just grow along with this market. And so that's why we're going. We believe it'll be an advantage, and I'm sure to other vendors as well.
Well, we tell people it's all about the vendors. If you don't, and you have to buy at the show. That's the key thing, because you know how it is, Dennis. If you don't come home with orders, you're like, well, heck, I got to meet a lot of people, shake a lot of hands, but where's my money? So that's really what we try and tell people. Hey, you're not paying much for registration, but please be sure and take care of the vendors who took care of you.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that.
Well, I guess, Lori, just to wrap up here, I guess, how do people register?
I'll let you take that. Deb.
Sure. So you can register online. It's campgroundownersexpo.com. We have our registration form on there. We also have an online registration where you can sign up and pay right there. Pretty easy. And yeah, like she said, it's $200 for our up to 5 people, and just $50 for any additional attendees. I will mention that our room block for the attendees for that discounted room block, it does end next Friday, October 28th. And it's almost like half off the rooms, which, I believe the rate is $139, and that's very cheap for Branson. So, so if anybody's waiting to sign up,
get your room.
At least get your room quick. So
It was a great hotel. And I've got to log on to register. I always wait to the last minute. I'm a last minute.
Don't do it this year. Don't do it.
It's almost full. So don't.
It's almost full. All right, I got to register. But
you can afford to take the whole family for this one, Ben.
Yeah, I can afford it. So with my million kids. So I guess Danielle, is there still room for vendors? Can vendors still register?
Yes, we've gotten a lot of new vendors in the campground owner registrations in the last week or so. And I've had people asking me when the cutoff date is for vendors. And I said, last year I was signing people up on the bus ride down there. So we don't have a cutoff. We won't push anybody out. So
that's a cool thing about having room for 1,000 vendors. It's just
always add one more.
It's so cool. You know how it is at Waco, Ben. We got them in the hallways, stuff near the bathrooms, all every square inch. But we've got space in this baby. It's fun.
I'm sure you still have room to take in a few more sponsors if anybody wants to show up and sponsor.
We do. Yeah. Yes.
Lori, don't try to put us in the bathroom. That wagon.
We promise we won't be in the bathroom.
We can just use the bathroom in the wagon, right?
There you go.
There you go.
So, all right. And Danielle, you mentioned a bus ride down. Is that like a party bus? Do you guys have like a party bus you guys take down?
Party/work bus, you
Yes,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Danielle's the one that has to stay completely sober because she actually does business for 10 hours. The rest of us, you know.
Yeah. It's
All right.
it's a long bus ride, so we make fun, but.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, Lori, Danielle, and Dennis for taking the time to be here. Thanks everyone for watching. And I'm really looking forward to the Campground Owners Expo. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in Branson. So everyone have a great rest of the week.
You
Thank
bet.
you,
See you
guys.
there.
Yeah,
guys.
see you there. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to WCM's Park Update, a production of Woodall's Campground Magazine. Join us for a new show each Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn for daily news and updates, and subscribe to our news feed on our website at woodallscm.com. Show hosts are Ben Quiggle and Mike Gast. Executive producers Rick Kessler and Alex Burkett. Copyright 2022, G&G Media Group.